Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel and thank you for joining me on another adventure. And what an adventure it has been. The end of 2020 was definitely interesting and I'm glad it ended the way that it did. So I recently just got back from my very first road trip since 2018, but this road trip was totally different because I was going to be going from Florida to California, and that in itself, I hadn't taken a trip from the East Coast to the West Coast since I moved from Jersey, and I was like 7 years old at the time. So this was going to be an interesting way to end the year off, and especially during the pandemic, traveling in 2020 was going to be so different and challenging. But before we get into all that, the first challenge I wanted to talk about was leaving my dog. First off, this is my first puppy that I've ever owned, and I know it's such a big responsibility. I didn't know how attached I was gonna get, and I got her in February of 2020, the beginning of the year, so such a weird time for her to grow up in, because you know she just wanted to play with everyone, but everyone, you know, they had to keep their distance at the time, and it was just so, like, you know, she just wanted to be loved and show love to everybody, you know, and it was so hard for me to like pull her back and be like, no, I'm sorry, I can't let you, you know, at least not right now.
How old? About 10 weeks now. Yeah. I know.
What's his
Pua means flower in Hawaiian. Yeah. Say bye. I know. Hey. Sit. Stop. Hey. Jeez, princess.
I knew that this was going to be a thing where there was going to be times where I wanted to go on hikes, and if I had like to do a video shoot, I was going to be gone for a few hours. So training her to be okay by herself, I knew that that would have to be like the very first thing that I get used to. And I started getting used to it a little bit more, but then you know, like I did my research and I read some articles saying that dogs experience anxiety the whole time their human is gone, and that just broke my heart. So after getting used to leaving her alone, I read this article, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh no. But it did like really make it harder for me to fathom that I was going to be leaving her for 10 days. That's way more than just a few hours. I've never left her side for even a whole day. Have I? No, like she's always been with me, or I've always been here, or I just leave her for a few hours. I've never left her for like a day. So leaving her for 10 days was just something that was like, but I knew that with having my best friend watching Pua, I knew that she was in great hands. I just had to get used to it.
Pua.
It's our last morning together for 10 days, honey. So the next challenge really was just the whole travel part. You know, this is going to be my first flight since COVID hit, you know, and it was going to be weird because the whole 6 feet apart, are we sitting together? And that was interesting because I checked the flight and you can change your seats and everything. And I noticed that people were sitting together. So I picked the seat that was all the way in the back, away from everyone that was like not taken up, because there was like a whole bunch of seats all the way like in the 30s that no one took up. So the whole flight was great. You know, like I was able to get my own row. I was able to lay out. I was very separated from everybody. So I felt very comfortable during that flight. This is the first I've ever seen an airport super empty like this, man.
This is Blue. Nico, this is Colt. Belle is blind, but she's also 13 years old.
Being with all these dogs makes me miss Pua, but I'll see Pua soon. So, okay, just took a shower. It's the first night here in Florida, so I didn't really do much vlogging just because I wanted to spend some time with my family. And then tomorrow we'll set things up. I don't know what we're gonna do tomorrow. I don't know what's happening, but we got 4 days here, and then the 26th we're leaving for California. So I'm gonna get some sleep. It's time for me to go to sleep, y'all. Peace out. So knowing that, you know, we spent Christmas, I don't want to spend too much time on the whole Christmas part, you know, because again, like this whole thing was more so about this trip and this journey, but this Christmas was very special at the same time. So it was good to be with family. Again, even though all of us weren't together, we were FaceTiming each other, we were Zoom calling each other, and we were doing things together. We were opening presents together online. We were doing gingerbread houses together through Zoom. So I'm super grateful that we have this technology now that we can actually connect with each other in that way, especially during this time, you know. So this Christmas was definitely very special, but it was such a great thing. Santa Claus visited. He popped in so that he can say hi to my nephews over Zoom, which was such a treat for them. Don't take it for granted, guys. It's definitely a blessing that we were able to do that, and I hope that all of you had, you know, just the greatest Christmas as us. If you guys were joined by family through Zoom, or if you guys were together. Words of my nephew. He said this a while back. It's not about the gifts that you get during Christmas time, but it's the time and the people that you spend it with. That's what matters most. Something like that. It was somewhere in those words. I'll play it again.
In the words of my nephew Shane, it's not about the presents, it's about the company and the people that you spend it with, especially your loved ones. It was a great letter that he wrote to Santa, and it's true. Make sure that you guys aren't so focused on the things that you get, but more so happy about the people that you spend it with. All right, guys, have a good one.
Good morning. Today's the day. It came by fast.
You what?
I said it came by fast.
I know,
I know. How you feeling?
I feel good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do. I feel better.
I think we all have that, especially when that changes. Again, like Nikki had that right.
Yeah. Especially after, like, releasing it. I went in there just to journal, and I'm just like, oh god, here we go.
You're starting to feel it?
Yeah, Mom's like, are you okay? And I'm just like looking at her like, I'm fine. And she's like, and I'm like,
Really? You started crying?
I was falling.
The last challenge was leaving. And I know my sister was having a hard time, especially with this, and I can understand. And I know that it was definitely a choice that she really wanted to make in her life, and she knew that she was going to be moving forward in life if she makes this move. Still leading up to it, even though it's like the greatest decision in the world, you know that it's going to project you, it's going to help you level up. The fact is, the closer it gets to you doing that, the more nerve-wracking it can still get. I mean, you look at it as like going to a new school or asking for a raise. You know that you deserve the raise, right? You know that you have to go up in a grade, but at the same time, the closer it gets for you to actually have to make that move, to go to a new school, to confront your boss, it's nerve-wracking. Or even like, you know, talking to a girl, you know that you like this girl and you want to say something, but you say that I'm gonna tell her like on Thursday. The closer it gets to Thursday, the more nervous you're gonna get to doing it. You know, that's just usually how it goes, you know. I knew that leaving our mom and her dad was going to be one of the hardest things for her to just jump over. It's an emotional wall that you have to finally get over because sometimes it's hard to deal with, you know. And I hate seeing my mom cry.
Love you. You'll cry. I love you. I will. I love you. You got this old man right here. Keep being with him.
Ida.
Love you.
Ida, go open the gate for me, please.
Time.
We will.
Be safe.
We'll let
Be
you know
careful.
when we get there.
All right.
Yeah.
All
Love you,
right. Love you too. Love you.
Love you, Ma.
Watch each other on the road.
We will.
Don't leave each other.
We won't. We won't.
Love you.
And so we finally hit the road. As hard as it was, and as hard as it can be, we were on our way. Attachments are really hard to let go of sometimes when you love them so much, when you care about them. And it's not just with family, it's people that you care about. It's not that you're trying to say goodbye to anything or anyone, it's just that you're trying to grow. So that being said, guys, I wanted to end this video here. I'm going to do this into a few parts because it's such a long trip. There were just a lot of things that I really wanted to talk about, but I wanted to start this video off somewhere. And the trip started from here to Florida, and now we're taking off from Florida to Louisiana. We still have Louisiana to Texas, Texas to New Mexico, and then New Mexico to Las Vegas, and then Las Vegas to California. So much going on that I really want to do this all in one video, but I also don't want to make this video super duper long. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next chapter. Remember, continue to be different because different change the world. Alright guys, peace out.